Hi, I'm Arvind Panda, Sports Vice Captain of DPS East. I'm here with Pranav Anand, who is a chess player of 10Q DPS East. Pranav is the youngest international master from Karnataka. He has won various chess tournaments at national and international level. Pranav traveled to Spain and played in the 8th Sunway Sieges International Chess Festival, Group A, from December 13 to 23rd December 2021. He scored 7 out of 10 and received his maiden GM norm for his performance and also won a prize in his rating category. He played against 5 GMs and won against 2 and drew with 1. He scored a 9 round GM norm with a performance rating of more than 2600. When and how did you start playing chess?
I started playing chess at the age of 7. My dad taught me the basic rules of the game. And then, he gave me an option, to choose from playing chess or against him and everybody, or playing some other games, like outdoor, for example, cricket and badminton and whatnot. And also there was an option of carom board. So then in indoor sports, it was always these two. And I chose chess because it's more interesting than carom board to me. And yeah, I think I'm glad that I chose it.
So you have always enjoyed chess.
Mm. Yes, it has always been our favorite.
Who inspired you to play chess?
I think when I was growing up, there was this World Championship match of Vishyanan against Magnus in Chennai. And I remember following this on TV. I was very young, so of course I didn't understand much, but it was a very, very inspiring moment because the World Championship was in town in India and it was played by one of the greatest in chess. So two of the greatest fighters in chess. And also the world champion Vishyanan himself. So that was the start.
So, like, what are your favorite chess books?
Yeah, I think I enjoy many chess books. For example, Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual is great. Then there's this book called Analytical Manual. I mean, that's incredibly difficult for me. So I still can't solve more than 50% of it, but it's still very enjoyable. And there are many other books in terms of middle game and end game. I think Shereshevsky's Endgame Strategy is one, but these are the newer ones I read recently. So I mean, they're all quite difficult. So
What opening do you generally play with?
with white, I generally go for 1d4 because I like those positions, and I've been playing them for a really long time. I think easily for the last 4 5 years or more than that. Also, I've been playing d4. But when I started out until I was about to 1800, 2000, I used to always play 1e4, and I think that should be the general way because you generally get more of attacking positions in 1e4 than in d4. I mean, that's the general myth. But currently, I only play mostly 1d4. So, rarely, I of course do try to experiment more with 1e4.
What was the best advice given to you?
Mm, that I just need to keep working on, working very hard, and not worrying about the results. Its results will at some point will come your way because the hard work will start to tell.
What motivates you to play chess?
Well, chess I think is an incredible game because of the patterns and the different movement of the pieces and tricks and tactics, attack, position, play, end games. There are many components, of course, and it's very enjoyable. And I really enjoy the fact that two people over the board they use their knowledge and try to outwit each other using their previous acquired knowledge, like in terms of patterns and in terms of openings. For example, there is theory, there are games to know, there are different things. So that always inspires me and I continue to play.
So, how do you manage both studies and chess?
Well, I think studies has been always not an issue for me, and because generally I start studying before the exams about 10 15 days before, and I try to catch up on everything, and I still end up scoring quite well. So studies has always been fine for me, and I hope it stays the same.
Do you prefer bishops or knights, and why?
Mm, I think I'd go bishops because they are long range pieces, and like if you can create an attack with the bishop, better than the knight. Like it's, for example, compared to having a really strong bishop, let's say let's got bishop on a weak light diagonal, it controls perfectly in an attacking position, then that's just excellent because in terms of both maneuvering and in endings and in attacking positions, bishops are generally tend to be better than the knights, is what I think.
I've been waiting to ask this question since the interview began. Vishyanan or Magnus Carlsen?
um, I think both are legends, but I think I would take Vishy because he was like his games were extremely inspiring for me in my childhood, and of course, currently Magnus is just the king right now, so he's also like one of my most favorites in terms of world champions.
Gary Kasparov or Bobby Fischer?
Fisher, Fisher, of course, because like Gary has been excellent, and I mean he's of course. I mean both of them are like my favorite world champions, but Fisher was simply a genius. So I think I would slide towards Fisher.
Among these four, who would you describe as the GOAT?
Sorry, can you please?
Among these four, who would you describe as the GOAT? Greatest of all time.
Yeah, I got it. Probably, yeah, I'll stick to Fisher.
Okay. Who was your toughest opponent and why?
Um, I think whenever I lose, it's just that either I get completely destroyed or it's like I just end up blundering. So I think in recent times there was this game in Sitges, like in last round where I just got completely like out of the board against Abdul Satrov. I mean that game was just like extremely difficult for me. Like starting from move number 4, I was just struggling. So that's in recent times, yes, that was one of the games I lost.
What role did the school play in your success and how did the coaches in our school help you?
Yeah, of course, the school played a huge role. I mean, they still continue to support me in terms of giving me holidays whenever I travel, which is like a great thing. And I think that's the major thing that they continue to help me, and the retests were also provided for me. Like whenever I came back from my tournaments, that was excellent.
Yeah. While playing a game, how many moves do you see ahead of the other player?
I think it depends. Like in complicated sharp positions, it should be minimum 7 or 8 because it's like you need to clearly know what's happening in terms of tactics and all. In simple positions, generally, I think it should be enough. Like, simple positions meaning like there is nothing forced and there's nothing tactical. It should be enough to get a general idea of the position and to see like 3, 4 moves. Probably. Like just, like response, and then try to see a plan or like how.
Yeah. According to you, what skills does a chess player need?
Calculation ability, I think, is the highest in terms of skills required because, I mean, like how much ever you are prepared in terms of openings and how much ever you know in terms of endings, if you can't calculate precisely and properly, I think it's just like all will end up being wasted. So
Absolutely.
I think that's like the number one. And number two, I think, of course, you should know openings. I mean, like, of course, that's something, but I think at lower levels, it's not required to know like very deeply. But I think at some point you need to be like relatively well prepared. End games, I think like after calculation in terms of chess, I think end games, theoretical endings specifically are very important because they end up arising more. where you either know that you draw or you lose. Yeah, that's important because when going for something, you need to know that. I'm still learning, of course, like even after so many years. And yeah, I think these calculation and theoretical endings specifically are quite important, combined with a decent knowledge of opening theory.
Favorite online sites to play chess?
Chess.com. I generally play chess.com a lot. Like whenever I'm at home, I end up playing for half an hour. Chess24, I follow chess games, like all the happening ones, like the Magnus story which is happening now. Then like candidates, for example, which is going to happen, and in May or in June, I don't know. So and like League chess, I do play, but it's not much. It's rarely.
Which was the longest game in your career and how did you handle the pressure?
Yeah, I think longest game, the first one which comes to mind was the game against Simon Williams in Isle of Man. I think it was 2016, if I'm right. Yeah, I think it's 2016. Yeah. So 2016, the game was more like I was straight out of the opening in the minus position, and then I had to defend, and then suffer in in a very bad middle game, and then moving on to some ending where it was like just straight up suffering, but I ended up still wanting to defend. I ended up surviving and getting a draw. This, I think the game lasted around 6.5 hours or 7 hours. So I mean, it was good that I had things to eat during the round, so I was able to keep my energy up.
Any particular achievement which is the most memorable for you?
Any particular, sorry?
Any particular achievement which is the most memorable for you?
Yeah, I think so. GM Now Sages was incredible to me. I mean, I honestly did not expect it because, I mean, like basically I had to win like around 3 games in a row in the end in order to even a chance for it. And I mean, I simply did not even think about it. I never even like considered getting GM Now in that tournament. So I think that was, of the recent times, that was the biggest one.
What advice would you like to give to the aspiring youngsters out there?
I think just work hard and results should come. I mean, this was what I was given as when I was young, and I think this is quite important.
Thank you for your time. It was great having you. And that is all we have for now. Congratulations for all your achievements and best of tons of wishes for your all future endeavors and the tournaments. Hope you have a great
Thank
year.
you. Thank you.